There's a freaking pile of hay out here. Holy crap. Unfortunately, a lot of it is really weedy stuff, so most of it we're gonna big bale for cattle. There are a few spots that are nicer grass that we're gonna small bale. And yeah, we got a lot of hay to bale though. There's about 10 acres here and it is all extremely thick, like very thick, like all of it. Now you just take a look here. It's just, there's a lot of hay, a lot of hay. You know, I love old iron. They sound good. They're simple to work on. A lot less problems on them most of the time. But sitting on these things all day, or even for half a day, really make you appreciate air condition and auto steer. Just want to give this thing a kind of a quick look over, make sure everything looks normal on the cutter bar, because that hay that I just mowed was some wildly thick hay and we were bogging the tractor down and this thing was making weird noises, honestly just because there was so much hay moving through it. Everything looks as of normal. I'm being really picky this year on maintenance, preventative maintenance, that sort of thing. Normally what I would do is I would grease everything up, get it ready, do a whole cutting, and I wouldn't really do any sort of greasing or checking over it until the next cutting. But this year, after like each farm that I finish, I'll go through and check all the grease zerks and just make sure everything is looking normal. On the mower here, I've been greasing the roller bearings consistently. That's really the only thing I've been greasing on it consistently. Now after first cutting, we'll go through and do everything, the roller bearings again, obviously, but drive line and some other points. Tractor I've been staying up on as well. So yeah, just kind of preventative maintenance. I don't want anything crazy to happen. And yeah, morning everybody. I've had an interesting morning. I mean, it wasn't like interesting. It was more frustrating than anything. I was supposed to go and get some wheels and tires this morning, about an hour away from here through a marketplace deal. I got a couple miles from the house and truck breaks down. My truck had a misfire a couple months ago. I went and got it fixed and it was the connector on the injector, actually, well, the solenoid. The injector solenoid was like broken and so it wasn't sending the signal to the injector. Well, I was driving down the road this morning and something was happening on another injector. Last time it was cylinder 8, this time it's cylinder 3. It was misfiring really, really badly. And what was going on? So I drove home, texted the guy, said, hey, I'm not gonna make it up to buy those tires today. Sorry about that. But then, you know, we fiddled around with the truck and we were fiddling around with the connection and my brother stuck a pick down in there and, you know, was digging around and now it works fine. So I don't know what's going on. That truck is just really finicky with its injectors apparently. But now I gotta go Ted hay, which is the reason that I couldn't go up and get those tires because, you know, I had a schedule today and I had to stick to it. Otherwise we weren't gonna get stuff done. I gotta go Ted the hay that I mowed down. It's some pretty thick stuff. We have a pretty good window for drying hay, but I want to get this stuff tedded out because there's a lot of Johnson grass in it. The thing with that Johnson grass though is it actually can make really good cattle feed if cured properly because it's like in the same family as sorghum. So there's a lot of it in there, and if I can get it dried and tedded and cured properly, then we can actually make some pretty good cattle feed. Like typical fashion though, this thing's gonna start really hard, so here we go. Finished tedding hay down there. My brother came and picked me up and I left the tedder down there because there's a chance of rain tomorrow, a slight chance of rain. I really hope it doesn't, but if it does, I want to leave the tedder down there. And it is just so thick that even if it doesn't rain, I'll probably fluff it up one more time before we bale it. The hay down there is actually not too bad. I was kind of worried that it was just gonna be really junky hay. but it is actually surprisingly drying really, really well, and it's actually going to make some really good cattle feed. We're most likely going to bale Monday at the rate that it's drying. I mean, you can see how windy it is right now. It is super breezy, and the sun is out and there's hardly any clouds out there. So it's a great drying day. It was the same thing yesterday. So as long as it doesn't rain, we should be baling Monday. 8:45. I was on my way home from hauling corn and I figured I'd stop by, but it looks like we could actually probably ted it. So while I'm here, we're gonna ted it. A buddy of mine is gonna bring his tractor over here tonight. He's gonna load bales out of the field for me. And then I'm gonna take this home and we'll unload bales, and then we're gonna use the flatbed there and my buddy's flatbed to haul. Hopefully between those two tractors and two trucks, we can get all the hay out of here tonight, or at least get it home and haul the wagons of small bales home. Or maybe we'll leave them here tonight, I don't know. Tomorrow we'll deal with putting all the hay away. Man, there's some pretty hay in here. Goodness, this is gorgeous. Look, it's got Timothy in here, orchard grass. There's a lot of beautiful stuff in here. This section of the field is the nicest stuff. We're gonna small bale most of this. And over towards that way, we get a lot of cattle hay, but even then the cattle hay is really good quality. So we're gonna make a butt ton of hay today. Got the rake here. Atco's sitting there still. We got a lot to do. All done raking. We've got some monster windrows. Gonna make a lot of hay. I know I've said that 30,000 times already. It's true. We're putzing along real slow right now because the left wheel there, that bearing's going out and it's making bad noises, and I saw bearing material falling out of it. I'm just praying that we make it home. I can definitely say I've had better days. Safe to say that wheel bearing shot. I've had better days. It's not good, not good. Well, let me catch you up on my absolutely train wreck of an afternoon. Well, not train wreck, but we had some excitement as normal. I mean, that's what happens on Jake from Steak Farm Farms. We have excitement. Yeah, that wheel is not supposed to be sitting in my passenger seat. That's the first thing. I'll have to show you the wheel bearing later, but it is shot. I have never seen a wheel bearing so blown to bits. But basically, as soon as I left the farm, I noticed something was wrong with that wheel bearing. But I was like, I don't have any tools with me, and at the moment, I don't have anybody to come bring me tools or help me. So I'm just like, I'm gonna leave it home. And we made it to about a mile away from home, and the wheel just about fell off. I stopped just in time before the wheel actually fell off. And I called my mom like 10 times because she was the only one home. But I couldn't get a hold of her, couldn't get a hold of anybody else. So I called my neighbor and he came out and got me home. So then I could get the truck and tools and blocks and a jack. And then my buddy, Evan, he's behind me now. He's helping me haul hay today. He got there and we fought with the tedder for like an hour. Well, as soon as we started going down the road, the valve stem went and the tire went flat. I was like, well, we're just gonna keep going. So I limped it home super slow, and now that tire's shot. But at least the tedder is home, and the Agco's home. We can unload bales. Evan and I are now heading to the field now. The big baler will be there soon, and we're gonna get these bales hauled out of there. There's gonna be a lot of bales here. Everything's baled up. I didn't really get any footage of the baler. If there's any footage of the baler in this video, it's because my parents took it. So yeah, counting out bales. I don't know the final count. I've got the trucks loaded up right now. I'm just staging some. We got a lot of hay. There's a butt ton of hay out here. Got 8 bales on here now. This is the heaviest I've ever had this truck, but 8 bales shouldn't be too bad. We got power, that's good. But 8 bales, they are, shoot, I don't know what they weigh. They're probably 700 pounds a piece at least. 7 times 8, that's 4,200 pounds. Anyway, I'm huffing and puffing. I left the flashers on in the tractor and I had to run back to the tractor and turn the flashers off. Been a long day. Every time I look to my right, I see the mishaps that happen throughout the day. But that's just what happens here on Jake from State Farm Farms. It's always a good time. There's the field out there. We got a whole bunch of bales in there. Man, there's just a lot of hay, but that's a good thing. That is feed for the cows and money in the bank. Heading back to the field. Got me some dinner. Got a lot of bales to do. I don't know how much we're gonna do tonight, like I already said, but we're stacking them in the barn. I got them 4 high with that loader. One thing for sure though, the calcium in those tires definitely made a difference when we were moving heavy stuff. It's a little light in the back now.